Good day, Tamers. Today we're going to look at some value that's going to be dropping in BT11 for those of you who are currently scouring to what to put your money into and maybe things to sell. You're not really interested in yourself during the BT11 era of the card game. So we're actually going to have a look at the second anniversary Ultimate Art polls for now. And there's probably about 4 cards that are going to have some really good value for quite a while. And then the rest are sort of going to be lingering around, probably like the £1 or £2 or dollar marks for quite a while. Serafi does deserve that alt art, same with Rusty, but I do see that these things probably won't get a lot of play for a long time, if ever again. So I do think these are going to be like £5 to £3 dollar marks for a while, and then probably dropping down to like the 2. Ghazi, on the other hand, I do see having quite a long running standing with being somewhat expensive card. It is a staple in a lot of purple decks, and it is one of those cards that purple can run quite easily. Floodgates. Yes, he's a fantastic card, and it will probably be a fantastic card till it either gets banned or limited, which I don't think is ever going to happen. Not too powerful, just powerful enough. I do think this is going to start off probably about the £10 mark and maybe slowly creep up over time as the market does become less saturated with these after BT11. Now, saying this though, I don't really expect to see much of this sort of moving too early. The only deck that's going to really want to run this is possibly Minerva as well as Masty, and then that's probably going to be it for a while. So BT11, if you've got other things that you want to prioritize, just keep an eye on it. And when you're happy with the prices, grab it where you can. This could drop down just a little bit, but I do think it'll be sticking around that £10 mark for a while. In Potential Discovered is a green deck staple for every green deck. If you think you're a green person, you're going to have to run one of these. It either gets fully banned or until it gets unlimited. And then you just run 4 of them. Crazy person. Now, though, I would say grab a playset of these just in case. I don't expect them to be too expensive. Probably around the £2 to £3 dollar mark, and then maybe down over time. Again, it's more the fact how much is getting pulled. We don't know how much ratio is going to be. It could be a case of you getting like 3 of each per case. Remember, you are pulling 4 these alternate art cards per box. So, if so facto, you are pulling 48 different cards out of a box, and we have 10. So, pulling 4 point something per case. Now, there could be differences in ratios where Ghazi could be a 6 of, and Hidden could be a 2 of. Or, for instance, Dory could be a 10 of, and Issa could be a 1 of. We don't know this. Obviously, when people do crack these open, if they mass, roughly know how spread out they are during a box. Hopefully, you are getting an even distribution, and that a box does give you at least a playset of each card. Mandramon, on the other hand, here is definitely going to be a meme buyout. If it's anything like the Event Pack 1 Mandramon, which, lovely card, it definitely will be hitting those high prices very quickly. I expect Commandron to be very similar to Ghazi, where it will be coming out at roughly about the $10, $15 mark, and then slowly going up over time. But again, if you are a Commander player, you're going to want 4 of these, and sometimes you have to pay the pretty penny. Hexablow, on the other hand, fantastic art, definitely deserves something this beautiful and gorgeous, but again, similar to the original 3, not really have much value. People have tried to use this in Blue Flare, as well as trying to do other deck theories around the EX3 support that it did receive. Again, you're probably looking around the 5 to 3 mark and then slowly going down over time, being something around the range of like the 2 to 50-ish mark. I think if you do look at some of these on eBay right now, they are selling quite cheaply, but that is pre-sales and they do change depending on how much stock they think they're going to get or not get. Eastern, on the other hand, is a massive amount of cards per deck. If you run this as the 16, good luck. If you run this as the 20 to 23, or bad news. I do see this somewhat similar to Commander Mode, where this will be more of a meme price, where people will probably stick this to like 10 to 15, just so they can try and get some value out of this card while they can. And for those of the people who are daft enough, who don't trade into it and want to buy it, spend probably £300-400 on this deck to just make it shiny. That's on you. But I do see this being one of these meme cards where you just stick a price just for the sake of sticking a price. Goramon, on the other hand, we saw how much the pre-release cards were going for. They were going for like £25 for a while, and $25 plus in America. I do expect this to be very valuable for a long time, if not forever. Similar to how the Kuramon ET5 from the Evo Cup. Now, obviously, that is a lot rarer card. There's only like 10,000 of those in the world. We expect this to have a few more printings than this. But at the same time, if you want to run a 4 of this, it's going to go. Starting probably like 10 to 15 again, then probably slowly making its way up to 25. As I do see this card probably being brought out and wanted to be brought by people, unlike the pre-release, which was more of a money grab by everyone and a meme. Zephy, on the other hand, did just get the EP3 Alter Art, so it's down to which you prefer. Personally speaking, I don't care. This card, I do Do think we'll start off around the £5 mark and then slowly go down to maybe the 2 or 3, again, depending on how often it's pulled. EP 3-pack is probably rarer. Means that if you want to have maximum rarity, you're going to go for the EP pack. The art on this is decent enough to use, but at the same time, if you're one of them people like me, you want the rarest card in your deck. Let's jump into the actual set itself now, with Blackwall Greymon Antibody. If you think this card will not be expensive on release, you are kidding yourself and your wallet. Everyone who knows how expensive the base set cards of these, currently Blackwall Greymon is around the £15 to £20 and dollar mark. If you don't think this card's going to follow suit, then you are not saving your money quick enough. This card will also probably around 10 on release, going up to 15 and then going into 20 as fast as it can. You have to remember, everyone knows this is currently the best deck in the format, and with finals literally around the corner, people want the best bang for their buck. If that means they don't want to play this, they're going to sell it. They're going to sell it hard and fast. Paying for it. Miri, super rare Tamer, our first one. This set was a very weird set. Get roughly 7.7 per case, which means you're generally getting 7 normals and then 1 alternate art. If you're looking at this and wanting to play the beautiful Masty deck, unfortunately, you're paying for it as well. With it being a SR, I do expect this to be at least £8 on release, possibly going up to 15. The reason why is there's going to be a lot more people wanting to play this deck. They're going to find it really interesting. Also, it becomes quite awkward for Blackwall Greymon to pop a lot of Tamers. Obviously, we do have access to Hades Force, which does get rid of a lot more Tamers than should do. But at the same time, having a lot of these on the field will make it very awkward for your Blackwall Greymon to deal with. That being said, this does come in an alternate art, which means prices could be pushed down a little bit if the alternate art seems to be more common than not. Plus the fact that this will be playable in the deck. Now, it is only played in one deck, which does make it less viable for things like maybe Cool Boy that can be played in a lot of decks. But as it is going to be a waifu card with the alt art that has woman and lady in it, I expect that one to be quite expensive in comparison. Moving along to Galactium. This deck is not awful, but it is not good. The issue is, though, the main boss monster for the deck is Secret Rare. You want value from your boxes. You want value from your cases. You're going to put this up probably at 20 to start with, and it probably will sink down to 10s. This is very similar to the Creepy and the Paladin modes. Starts off with a decent value and will slowly, over time, sink. If we ever do see any good support for this deck, then I do expect it to go up in price. For now, expect the £20-25 mark, and then over the next month or so, leading into BT12, I expect it down to the £10 mark. So, firstly speaking, if you want to pick it up early, that's down to you, but I do expect it to go down in time. Now, Roina, on the other hand, I expect her to go up in price for the next months. And if you don't remember, Roina is here as our first secret rare Tamer. Not only is our first secret rare Tamer, All Force Digimon gets support in BT12. It also gets support in T13. So, if you want to play this deck, you want to get yourself some Roinas, and they're going to be expensive, because people know you want Roinas. Roina's going to be a 3 to 4 in each deck. She's a secret rare. You roughly pull 4.4 of these per box, which means you're either pulling 3 normals and a alternate art, or you're pulling 2 alternate arts and then 2 of the standard art. Now, whatever you want to play is up to you, but I do expect this to be a £30 to £35 card on release, possibly pushing up if All Four starts winning events. At the same time, I do expect the alternate art to be fairly expensive for a modern day card, at probably around the £60 to £80 mark. 100. Now, as time goes on and as All Force gets more support, I do expect this card to go up in price as well as the All Force card. Now, should you buy this card now? It's probably similar in the region of Def X, where it started off fairly cheap in comparison to today's prices, and then over time going up in price. If you do fancy playing this deck, I do recommend picking these up at pre-releases, with trades if you can, and maybe hopes and promises made that you can't fulfill. At the same time, I do expect that All Force Digimon will be quite an expensive card. Nowhere near the prices that is Blackwall Greymon X, mind you, but probably on release at least 8 to 10, and possibly pushing up slightly higher if it starts doing well. Now, this deck isn't terrible into Blackwall Greymon, because you generally put your Tamers down when you're going to go for the kill. But as that being said, this deck can be quite volatile. At the same time, though, I do expect this card to be around the £10 mark, and with all the support coming out in the future, possibly keeping that price and not too much. But again, it all depends on how well this deck does in the next events. That being said, though, you may have noticed that this is actually on Digimon Card Dev. Thank you, guys. But that's because Bandai did release the updated information for BT11 on the app, but they forgot one card. They forgot All Force Digimon, and I don't know why. Specifically, this card was missed. But that is it for this video, guys. Thank you for being here. If you're interested in more things like this, I'm happy to do it in the future, as BT12 is a bit of a weird set, but it looks interesting if you want to play Cosmo. So, peace out and goodbye, and we'll see you guys next time for more Digimon stuff. Bye.